Well, hello, my name is Taylor, and I'm doing a little bit of a different video today where I am trying to make my own FrankenBlush. This was heavily inspired by Jessica Lee and her Franken Fridays, which I think are so fun. So here are some of the shades that I'm working with and considering frankening. One of them is the blush in my project pan. Another one is the highlighter at the end because I think it's so pretty, but it's too dark for my skin tone. So I'm going to work with the three shades that I've pointed out: the Bobbi Brown blush, an Essence Satin Touch blush, and a highlighter from the Soph X Makeup Revolution highlighting palette. So I just have an empty magnetic pan and then a cuticle pusher that I got from like a bag of them. This way it's sterile and I can throw it out afterwards. You could also use a toothpick. So I'm just scraping some product out of the Bobbi Brown blush, and I was really surprised because as I started doing this, I hit pan like as soon as I touched it. So I think if I had used this blush like a couple more times, I would have hit pan naturally, but that's fine because we're using it in this Franken product. So I am just scraping out the blush for the next little while here, trying to be really gentle and not go overboard and break the product. An easier way to do this is to do it over a piece of paper, and then you can dump the blush on the piece of paper and then kind of funnel it into the pan, but apparently I was too lazy for that. So now we are working with the Essence blush, which is such a beautiful, more nude color. I chose this because I thought it would help kind of tone down the pinkness of the Bobbi Brown blush. It's such a beautiful blush, and it is one that I want to try to use up at some point because, as you can see, I've broken the lid off, and that's really frustrating. So yep, I'm just scraping some product out of that. And now we are moving on to the highlighter, which is such a pretty color, and I thought it would be really nice since the Bobbi Brown blush is really glowy, the Essence one is more satin, and I've been really enjoying a glowy blush, so I thought it would be nice to add a little bit of this highlighter in to kind of bring a glow. I normally use this as kind of a blush topper, so it works really well, I think, for this purpose. So now I'm just trying to mix all the pigments together to see kind of what color I'm working with. So I thought the blush looked just a little bit too pink, so I'm throwing in a little bit more of the Essence one to kind of balance it out and make it a little bit more nude. I then went on to throw in a little bit more of the highlighter, and this, I actually, in hindsight, wasn't my best idea because I think the blush ended up coming out just a little bit too shiny. It's definitely usable, but I think a little less highlighter would have been good for the mix. Now I'm adding the alcohol, and it's important, I think, to do this really slowly because you don't want to overdo it, but I have to go in a couple of times with another drop. Then here we are just repressing with a paper towel. I recognize that I didn't make a lot of blush, but this amount has so far lasted me 5 uses, and I still have enough for it looks like 3-4 more uses in the pan. So this little bit did actually go quite a long way. Finally, I am just throwing it in one of my little Z palettes. It's a magnetic pan, and swatching it for you. As you can see, it is quite shimmery, but I like that it's kind of a toned down version of the Bobbi Brown blush. So thank you for watching.